A recent study conducted by researchers from the University of Rwanda College of Education, presented by Dr. Joseph Kubwimana, the principal investigator, sheds light on a growing challenge in Rwandan secondary schools: the rise of students' disruptive behaviors and their often underestimated impact on academic achievement. But what exactly are disruptive behaviors, and why are they becoming so prevalent in today's classrooms?
Well, I know if I'm talking about disruptive behavior, refers to action, cause distress for teacher and disrupt the learning processes, hindering both effective instruction and the student ability to engage in learning.
Dr. Joseph Kubwimana explained that the study focused on students' internal challenges such as emotional regulation, low self-esteem, and limited social skills. He noted how these issues, along with students' interactions with teachers, peers, and families, contribute to disruptive behaviors that negatively affect academic performance. The study aimed to examine how students' interpersonal difficulties, particularly emotional instability and low self-confidence, combined with their relationships with the key social actors, lead to behaviors that hinder learning and academic success. The research was guided by 5 key objectives, including identifying interpersonal and intrapersonal factors, understanding the role of social and family influences, and assessing the link between disruptive behavior and academic outcomes. Dr. Kubwimana noted that the study adopted the mixed methods approach, combining both qualitative and quantitative techniques. He stated that the sample included 268 students and 96 teachers, drawn from a total population of 816 students. The study also involved 16 school leaders and 123 teachers across 10 schools in Rwanda's 4 provinces and Kigali City. In addition, school leaders were interviewed to provide deeper qualitative insights. Presenting the research findings, Dr. Kubwimana highlighted the key takeaways from both the survey data and interviews.
Our findings show that there is a significant negative correlation between disruptive behavior and the academic performance, with emotional regulation and the peer exclusion identified as key predictors. Means that intraperson play a big role in the learning processes and the academic performance. The second element was social isolation, because through observation we have seen some students who are isolated from others, students also with low motivation and poor time management were particularly prevalent among students. The study also highlights that the family-related issues, particularly lack of parental support, 51%, and family conflict, 36%, are major contributors to student absenteeism and disruptive behavior. 77% of students reported that their verbal and physical aggression, as well as their lack of motivation, are linked to family conflict, separation, and domestic abuse, all of which negatively affect their academic performance. 49% of students miss school due to family-related issues. We have found that boarding students perform well comparing with day students. Also, girls perform also well comparing with boys. As a result, we have seen that the problem with disruptive behavior their performance are very, very poor comparing with the others. Then they fail. We don't find anyone in grade in excellent, too good. There is no one among the students who manifest the disruptive behavior. Then among those students, 63 was at the average. Then 33 was failed. You see that now the disruptive behavior and the problem, intrapersonal and interpersonal problem impact negatively the processes of learning and learning outcomes.
Researchers put forward several recommendations to address disruptive behaviors and improve academic performance in secondary schools. They recommended the recruitment of a career guidance officer, a career development specialist, and a counselor for each school. They also highlighted the importance of professional development in emotional intelligence for teachers, noting its impact on both teaching effectiveness and student outcomes.
Because sometimes the teacher also have problem to manage their emotion. Sometimes also if they are not able to manage the problem, they reflect also the processes of teaching and learning, which affect also negatively the performance of students.
MINEDIC should integrate emotional intelligence training into teacher education programs to ensure educators are equipped to manage their own emotions and support student emotional development.
School leaders should also organize 3 workshops annually for parents and staff, focusing on career guidance, emotional intelligence, and the creation of a conducive environment. Also, school leaders should address gender disparities by introducing specialized programs for male students to enhance engagement and motivation, thereby narrowing the gender gap in academic performance.
These measures, they concluded, would contribute to more supportive school environments and a reduction in disruptive behaviors.
What you say is true. The bad behavior is linked to the performance of a student. Why? Because when students have a bad behavior, cannot take his moment to study.
Jean Paul Nkurunziza, head teacher at JS Nyabisindu in Muhanga district, welcomed the research, noting that it addresses many behavioral changes affecting students' academic performance. He shared that common disruptive behaviors observed at his school include inappropriate dressing, excessive talking in class, unauthorized phone use, leaving school without permission, sleeping during lessons, physical fights, and lack of academic effort due to peer pressure. These behaviors, he said, undermine both student motivation and the overall teaching and learning environment. Alfred Nyirimanzi, sector education officer from Kisaro sector in Rulindo district, confirmed that the research findings reflect the reality in schools. He cited the disruptive behaviors such as aggression, disrespect, inattentiveness, and drug use, often linked to family-related problems. He emphasized the need for collective action involving school leaders, parents, and institutions such as the national police.
You will see that those students with bad behavior are absent. Some of the students at secondary school are taking drugs.
Jean Bosco Biziyaremye, deputy head teacher in charge of studies at JS Kagarama in Gasabo district, expressed strong support for the research findings. He affirmed that the described behaviors are indeed present in schools and that the study accurately captured the current challenges.
Disruptive behaviors affect negatively the performance in schools because the learners who have disruptive behaviors lack the motivation to study. They think that studying is nothing, and when you try to talk to them at the first time, they say that there are many people who are rich but who have not gone to school or who did not perform well in the schools. So they lack motivation to study, and in most cases that we see in our schools is that more than 80% of those learners fail to have at least 50% of marks required for a year or a term. So good behaviors affect the learner's performance positively. As we can see in our schools, the learners who have good behaviors perform. They do their best. We tell them, we advise them, telling them, even if you can feel that you are weak, but when you have good discipline and good will, no matter what, you will be successful.
Following these reflections, Dr. Innocent Somana, a member of the research team and co-investigator, acknowledged the value of insights shared by school and sector leaders.
As school leaders, your contribution, the contribution of other stakeholders, in education you have many stakeholders. Only one, the school leaders cannot really say that they will solve those problems. That's why we have to communicate our efforts so that we can at least find solutions.
In his concluding remarks, Dr. Innocent Twagirimana, co-investigator and dean of the School of Education at University of Rwanda College of Education, underscored the critical role of professionals working directly in the education sector, stating,
as practitioners and educational leaders, you have first-hand knowledge of the challenges and the opportunities that lie in our schools. Your engagement will help ensure that the findings of this study do not remain on paper, but are translated into practical, context-sensitive actions that benefit both learners and educators.